Okay, we're in session in cause number 328-462. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Ronald Jermaine LeBeau. Yes, Mr. LeBeau, you please come forward. Mr. LeBeau.
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. LeBeau, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Mr. LeBeau, you may put your hand down. Mr. LeBeau, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Burbank. Mr. Burbank, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, Mr. LeBeau, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir.
And Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. LeBeau's case?
We do.
Okay, now, Mr. Burbank, earlier, you had made a statement regarding you didn't anticipate Mr. LeBeau being present. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you had mentioned the name of, I think, of Terrence Chapman or something like that?
There was
Yes, sir.
there was a minister, I think.
Mr. Chapman,
Okay.
sir.
I think I know Terrence Chapman. I think it's a gentleman who used to live here in Beaumont,
He's originally from Beaumont.
and then he moved, where is he, in Round Rock, I think you said?
He lives in Austin, but the ministry is in Round.
Right, okay. State, do you have any objections to me presiding over this case, knowing that I do know the gentleman, Terrence Chapman, that they mentioned?
The state has no objection.
Okay, you waive any possible conflicts of interest?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. LeBeau, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about November 10th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. LeBeau, do you understand what you've been charged with?
What was that? Oh, yes, I understand what I'm charged with. Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. LeBeau, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty? Or, okay. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBeau, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there are 2 sets of initials. I think that's your initials and your attorney's initials. And it's on the line next to the box that says check guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
It's my signature.
And on the next document, it's titled trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. LeBeau, I also have before me a document that is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. LeBeau, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Burbank, go over these documents with you?
You did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the
sir.
best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Burbank, you have advised and counseled Mr. LeBeau. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. LeBeau, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBeau, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I will accept your pleas and your waivers. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for 5 days county jail with credit for time served, tax and retire the court costs.
Mr. LeBeau, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you now have to serve it more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served enough time. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court costs in this case, Mr. LeBeau, is $337, but you will not have to pay the court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and returned. Mr. LeBeau, do you understand the state's offer?
I do.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Fair and just.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. LeBeau, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. LeBeau, please stand on the X next to the attorney. You'll follow the directions of our clerk. And once you finish following our clerk's directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Maybe
sir.
excuse-
Stand on the X, yes.
See you later, man. Have a good
Yes, sir.
trip. If you need anything, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Let me excuse you.
Yes, you may be excused, Mr. Burbank. You have a blessed day as well.
So the can I get your right thumb? Lift it up in this way.
Thank you also.
Okay, you're welcome.
Try it again. And this is your, that's your copy, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
That's it?
yeah, you gotta go through that door. That other door is locked. All right, same to you. Ms. Morrison, are y'all ready on your cases or you need some time to talk to the prosecutor?
I just need a recommendation on David Wood, but on Joshua Mouton, Your Honor.
What you
We
get?
don't have the video ready in that
Okay.
case. That's a prostitution case.
Okay, well, get, Mr. Bailey, why don't you go get Ms. Morrison's clients? Yeah, get both of them to come in. Joshua,
Mouton.
this is cause number 3300006. Case is style the state of Texas versus Joshua Clarence Mouton. Mr. Mouton, would you please come forward? Is that your full name, Joshua Clarence Mouton?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mouton, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. Mr. Mouton, you're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Stella Morrison. Ms. Morrison, how are you doing?
All right, Your Honor. Thank
That-
you.
That's good. Now, Ms. Morrison, what is your announcement in Mr. Mouton's case?
I need some time because the DA has yet to supply me with the video
Okay,
in that case. Considering the type of charge he has, we definitely need to have the video.
okay. Could you give us a reset date?
December 15th, is okay?
Is December 15th fine for you, Ms. Morrison?
I think so, Your Honor. Never know.
Okay, let's reset it for December 15th. Ms. Morrison, you can stand over there by the court coordinator and sign your reset. And Mr. Mouton, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
No, we'll talk to you, you know.
In the hallway.
Ms. Morrison, I think, she needs you to sign the reset
Yeah.
over here.
Thank you.
It's ready. Won't be able to see it, but I can. Yes, ma'am.
Court is back in session and cause number, in session and cause number 322340. Case is filed the state of Texas versus David Christopher Lewis.
Yes, sir.
And your name is David Christopher Lewis?
Yes,
How you doing, Mr. Lewis?
Pretty good in yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Lewis. You're represented by your attorney, Ms. Stella Morrison.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Morrison, what is your announcement in Mr. Lewis' case?
Your Honor, we need some time. I just discussed his, recommendation of the VA. He don't think he can comply with those kind of conditions. It's a bit too heavy for his, financial load.
Okay, so you asking that the case be reset or
I'm
something?
asking that it be reset so we can try to renegotiate this.
Okay. Give us a date. Okay, it's gonna be reset December 15th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, your case is being reset to December 15th. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, you too.
Okay,
Don't leave. Gotta give you a reset. All right.
all right. And Ms. Morrison, this will conclude your cases.
Yes, sir.
You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement document in County Court Law Number 2, which was scheduled for 9 a.m. on today's date of October 20th of 2021. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.